This is the truth about carbs. Do you really need to cut them in order to lose weight? But who am I to tell you anything? I went from this to this, then this to this. I've been building muscle and losing fat over the past 5 years quite successfully. I'm not here to preach anything to you. I'm just here to give you my life experience so you can pick and choose what you want to add into your own life. So there's a lot of different diet advice that you hear nowadays. Some people say the only way to lose fat is if you cut out carbs. Some people say no, you need to keep carbs in your diet. What is the actual answer here from someone that's tried both? I've done keto, I've lost some weight without keto, and I'll give you all the details and exactly what I would recommend to do. So what even are carbs? Well, they are one of the 3 macronutrients, but I would like to split carbs into 2 different categories. There's simple carbs and there's complex carbs. Simple carbs contain very easily digestible carbohydrates like fructose, sucrose, which is, a mix of a couple of these carbs, and more complex carbs will be harder to digest, being foods with higher fiber content. So to put in simple terms, think candy versus carrots. The candy will get absorbed into your system very quickly. It will give you a quick boost of energy and then make you crash really quickly. Whereas a carrot will give you energy gradually over time. It'll fill you up and it'll sit in your stomach for a little bit longer. Now, this is important because both of them are good in specific uses. Speaking of, what are the uses of carbs? So as discussed, if we're talking simple carbs, they are there primarily to give you quick energy, or at least that's the best way to utilize them. I mean, they're just tasty and a lot of us eat them for no reason whatsoever. But if you're looking at the best case use scenario, simple carbs like bread, candy, fruits, they're best used before some type of physical act, like a workout, maybe a jog. They give you energy to use very quickly because this carbohydrate digests very fast. I don't know if you ever noticed, but if you eat something like a banana, it doesn't really bounce around in your stomach too much. It's gone within like 30 minutes and you feel like you're on an empty stomach again very quickly. Now, complex carbs are more used to fill you up over time. They're gonna sit in your stomach longer. They shouldn't really be eaten before a workout because they're not going to digest quickly enough. So how does cutting carbs help some people? Well, first we need to discuss water retention. Carbs hold a lot of water, and people who go on keto diets, such as myself, have noticed that you lose a lot of weight very quickly. But it's not fat, it's the water weight that the carbs hold. So when you see that you're losing a lot of weight very quickly from the keto diet or just cutting out carbs in general, it's primarily water weight. But it also may help some people because it just simplifies the dieting process. Look, you cut out these foods that are very addictive. Carbs are very easy to overeat on. And if you cut them out and just tell yourself, look, I'm not gonna eat bread, I'm not gonna eat sugar, I'm not gonna eat candy, I'm not gonna eat fruits, it's a very easy way to slowly cut back on calories without even realizing that you're doing so. Now let's talk about the negatives of cutting carbs. So first of all, if you're trying to retain as much muscle as possible, have the highest levels of satiety, and overall better health markers, you're probably better off keeping carbs within your diet. There's also recent studies showing that low carb diets actually destroy testosterone. So from a muscle building aspect and just an overall well-being aspect, that's not too good. If you avoid carbs, it's going to be quite hard to obtain certain minerals and vitamins that vegetables contain. It's going to impact your performance a little bit within the gym. If you're not eating carbs, you will definitely regress just a slight bit. It's not going to be crazy, probably not even noticeable, but you will have better performance benefits if you do add carbs into your diet. So what is my experience with this? I've tried both the keto diet, I've done carb backloading, I've also just eaten carbs around the clock, and what works best for me? So in my experience, the keto diet was a total flop. I like eating carbs, and honestly, I feel okay when I eat them. But the one thing I will say is I don't eat carbs throughout half of the day. The morning to around the afternoon, I don't touch a carb. This is where I get my most productive work done, and what I've noticed is that eating carbohydrates really brings on a huge sense of fatigue and mental fog. So I try to keep them away from the time that I work, and then I eat them later throughout the day and just a little bit of carbs before my workout. Eating around the clock, as I said, really hindered my focus, so I place carbs in my diet strategically when I actually need them. So what are some healthy carbs that you could introduce into your diet? Without any order, here are some of the ones that I like and I eat on a regular basis. Carrots, peas, corn, cauliflower, cucumbers, rice. I know this is not the healthiest, but I really like rice. Beans, cocoa powder for hot chocolate, bananas, apples, kind of like all the basic single ingredient carbs. So what are the takeaways here? Do you need to cut carbs? No, you don't. Can you eat carbs throughout the entire day and still lose weight? Yes. Is cutting carbs bad for you? Not terribly. I personally recommend that you keep carbs in your diet, but just experiment to see when they fit best within your day. Of course, I'm gonna say that because I'm biased and the keto diet did not work too well for me, but if cutting out carbs works for you, then fantastic. Don't eat carbs, you definitely don't have to, but you also do not need to cut them out. If you're ready to take the first step, press the first link in the description and join our free Skool group. Here you will meet like-minded people and get more direct help from me and our community. If I gave you anything of value within this video, please consider subscribing. I'd greatly appreciate it. And don't forget to stay savvy with your diet.